One of the things you'll frequently do with your progressive reloading equipment is change calibers. And in this particular video, we're going to take a look at what it takes to change calibers on the Loadmaster progressive reloading press. Specifically, in this video, we're going to take a look at changing between two pistol calibers with differing primer sizes. So we're going to start out set up to load 45 ACP, and we're going to switch this press over to load 357 Magnum. When changing calibers, in this particular case, we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So we'll start by removing the powder measure so that we can remove the turret head and install our set of dies that we've already set up in a different turret head for 357 Magnum. And the first thing I need to do to remove the powder measure is to raise the ram so that I can take off the connector for the chain. It takes a little bit of force, pull it straight down, pull the connector off, and remove the spring. And next we can lower the ram, remove the chain from the shell plate. Next we need to unscrew the powder measure assembly from the expander powder charging die station. We're going to take this knurled disc here and just progressively loosen this. Now this is something that you need to keep an eye on while you're loading to make sure it's tight so that you have proper case mouth expansion. And that's just going to lift right off. So now it's time to remove the turret head with our 45 ACP dies and insert our turret head that has our 357 Magnum dies. So I'm going to take this lock nut on the side that secures the turret, loosen the screw, rotate the turret slightly, and then just lift it out. I'm then going to take my 357 Magnum turret head, pop it down until it snaps, and then rotate it so that our sizing and depriming die without the decapping pin is in station number 2. Next, we'll install the universal decapping die in station number 1. So I've unscrewed this universal decapping die from Lee, which we had installed in the 45 ACP turret, and we're just going to drop that in over station number 1 and finger tighten this. Now the Lee dies have the O-ring, so we can just basically finger snug that. Now we're going to be decapping in station number 1. We're going to use station number 2 to size so that we're aligned over the priming station without the decapping pin, because of course we can't use that there. We're going to be expanding the case mouth and charging with powder in station number 3. And here in station number 4 we're going to both seat and crimp in one stage. We have an extra station here where we could seat and then crimp separately, but with this die set we only had provisions for combined seating and crimping, which is fine, works fine on the press. We could also install this particular die in station number 5 and put a powder check die like the RCBS lockout die or the Hornady powder cop die in station number 4 if we felt so inclined. Make sure our screw is snug. Now we've got our dies installed. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is going to be to remove the 45 ACP shell plate. We've got this knurled knob here that we can just remove. I like to keep these in the completed cartridge bin personally because it's handy and nearby. We're going to pop off the ejector plate. Now notice my O-ring came out of the knurled knob, but I'm just going to pop that back in there. That's what keeps it secured on the shell plate and keeps it from loosening. Okay, now we need to push the primer lever back a little bit, and our shell plate will just lift right out of there. So that is really easy access for shell plate removal. Next, we're going to remove the priming system because we're going to be switching from large primer to small primer size. So we're going to pull this case retainer lever back a little bit, and then we can basically just lift the whole system off. It's just that easy. So I like to use small containers to keep my spare primers in. Here I've got Winchester large pistol primers, and this priming system is very easy to empty. I just basically need to take the primer tray off, and then I take the primer chute and dump it right into my container. So with no mess and no spillage, I'm able to just set that priming system aside. Now we're going to take our small pistol priming system and get ready to install that. Okay, now the last thing that I need to do before I install the small pistol priming system is going to be to exchange the large pistol primer punch for the small pistol primer punch. So I'm going to just ease down on the lever that actuates the priming, remove the large pistol priming system, and then I'm going to use that same approach to drop the new one in, and it needs to fit down and snap into place, go down all the way. So now we're ready to take the small pistol priming system and just drop that right in. Got to kind of flex it around. There we go. We can push this case retention lever back into place. We'll make fine-tuning adjustments to those after we install the shell plate. So now it's time to install the shell plate, and what we're going to do is going to be to just kind of drop this into place, and then you have to find kind of the sweet spot for this to drop down completely. And one thing that you can do to help facilitate that process is to basically work the indexing pawl back and forth just a little bit. So now that we've dropped on our shell plate, we're going to put our ejector plate down. We've got the shell plate retention knob, and we're just going to engage the threads there, and then seat that guy. Do a couple indexes here just to make sure that everything's good, and then snug that down. So now we have the shell plate portion of the system ready to go.